what time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Big game cool, make them look like cool. Always play it cool, that's the biggest rule. Fuck it, what they doing, keep on doing. I've been making loot since like 22. Ask me how I made it right here in the booth. I'm always pursued cause of what I pursue. That's greatness, yeah, I gotta make it, I got things to lose. Boy, wanna get in my crew, but you can't get in my crew. Me, Axel, and Huber, way too fireable. When this joint drop, better call the troops. And when you hear the drop, better raise the roof. Better raise the roof. You already know what happens when we link up. Let's go. Yeah.
What's going on? What's going on? Good evening. Welcome to Steve the Kidney Nurse. Today I'm going to be talking about making every treatment count. And that's important. I know there's many warriors probably watching this show that say, yeah, I go to treatment and I do my time. And that's what you're supposed to do. Because technically, the more treatment, the better you'll feel. I know that sounds ridiculous, but if you think about how the healthy kidney works 24 hours, 7 days a week, it's constantly eliminating waste out of your system through urination. And so when you don't have that anymore, when your kidneys start working, you need that artificial treatment. And so if you have less treatment, you're going to have a high buildup in fluid and waste products. So, as I said, the goal is to attend every treatment. However, to stay your treatment time as well, complete the whole treatment. So look, let me just start from the beginning. Let me clear my screen. Hope everyone's doing okay wherever you're watching from. Please share this broadcast because we need kidney warriors all over the world to watch this and see this because they may not know. They may be on dialysis and something happens, that's something small that doesn't require them to leave treatment, and they may discontinue their treatment, thus continuing the buildup of waste in their blood because they didn't get it all cleaned out. So let me just start from the beginning so we can break it down and show you how this looks like. So for those who may be watching that are not dialysis warriors, that are family members of dialysis warrior, please drop a comment. But this is also directed towards you as well, so you'll know about your loved one's treatment or your family or friend or relative. Okay, we're all in this together. Together, we can beat kidney disease. It takes a great effort, a team effort, and to be cohesive. And you can start by sharing this broadcast so other warriors can be aware of what's going on. So look, dialysis replaces only some of kidney function. It doesn't replace all, only some. So we know warriors, many warriors have a hard time going to dialysis 3 times a week, twice a week, once a week. They just have a hard time going to dialysis, period, for whatever reasons. Okay. Now, when you look at the kidneys, they work 24 hours, 7 days a week. They clean your blood. Now, when you look at dialysis, depending on how many hours and how many days you attend, works about 12 hours. Here in the United States, if someone has 4 hours treatment and go 3 times a week, that's 12 hours treatment, opposed to someone in Kenya. We had kidney warrior and kidney ambassador Moses Kennedy on earlier from Nairobi, Kenya. And his treatments are only twice a week at 4 hours each treatment. Now that's only 8 hours per week, opposed to someone getting 12 hours 3 times, 4 hours a week. So we got to look at that. Why is that disparity over in Kenya? They're only paying for 2 days a week at 4 hours at 8 hours. And here in the US, you get 4 hours, 3 days a week, or 3 hours, 3 days a week. That's 9 hours. 1 more hour than what our warrior friends receive over in Kenya at twice a week at 4 hours. Now, we know wherever you're at, this applies to everyone all over the world. Treatments can't be missed. We know that. You cannot miss treatment. And if you do miss a treatment, you should try to make that treatment up. Absolutely. Because if you miss a treatment and then depending on what day you missed that treatment, say you Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you miss Friday treatment and you can't get in Saturday. So that's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That's 5 days without treatment. And then you got to think about your meals, your fluid consumption. So it's very important, if you miss a treatment, make it up. Now, each dialysis treatment keeps your body in balance, or what we call homeostasis. It's in balance, right? So by removing extra waste and fluid from your blood, that's how we keep it in balance. Now, miss just one treatment and it can build up beyond what your body is able to handle. Let's say if you got heart disease, heart failure, or other conditions that make it hard on your body, then it's going to be hard to get rid of these toxins if you miss a treatment. But however, everyone is different. Remember that everyone's body is different. So what may happen for John may not happen for Jack, or what may happen for Sally may not go for Sue. So, and this is not always the case. So missing one treatment doubles your chances of dying for 30 days afterwards. All right. Now, this was according to DaVita Clinical Research article, Causes and Effects, dated May 25th, 2016, that missing one treatment, pay attention to this, missing one treatment doubles your chance of dying for 30 days afterward. So you got to use your own instinct and research as well. But missing treatment, you definitely got to make it up, because that's build up a toxin, and that can start affecting other parts of your systems. Now, every minute at the clinic is important as well. The time spent on the dialysis machine was prescribed specifically just for you by the nephrologist. Each minute is important, seriously, because it's what you need to keep your blood clean. Shortening treatments by just a few minutes can add up. Over time, this can have the same effect on the body as missing a full treatment. So just think, if someone got off dialysis today at 10 minutes early, and then Wednesday they got off treatment early, and it could be for a number of reasons. Let me tell you, it could be the cramping. Somebody may want to get off early because they cramping. It may be because of low BP. They may experience passing out, and they ready to just end it. They had enough. Or it could be a private issue, right? Or it can be transportation or work. Now, or it could be you get there late, they put you on and take you off early, and you don't run your full treatment. It could be a holiday. Whatever reason, shortening your treatment shortens your lifespan. Okay. However, we don't know when the good Lord is going to call us home. Right? We don't know that. However, when you don't get a good treatment and these toxins and poisons builds up and the fluid builds up, the fluid can cause respiratory distress. The toxin buildup can cause itchiness, right? Confusion, swelling, which is pitting edema in the lower feet, shortness of breath. How many warriors, if you miss treatment or if you get fluid overload, in order for you to sleep comfortably, you have to put 2 or 3 pillows behind you when you go to sleep, so you can just be leaning up and get some rest. So because you sleep on your back, on your side, that fluid is going to get up in your lungs. All right. You can get difficulty sleeping with that buildup, decreased appetite, tiredness, nausea, or vomiting. These are all pre-uremic renal symptoms before you actually go into renal failure. You're experiencing a lot of these same symptoms. That's why, because you're not getting enough treatment. You're getting the same buildup of toxins, just like you did before your kidneys completely failed, because your kidneys could not eliminate the poison through urination. And so again, itchiness, confusion, swelling, shortness of breath, difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite or decreased appetite, tiredness, and nausea, possibly with some vomiting. Now, let's look at the bright side of this, because there is a bright side. Fitting dialysis into your schedule, not dialysis, you fitting into dialysis schedule, having dialysis fitting to your schedule. And with some warriors, that can't happen, and we understand that. Okay, that's just the nature of the beast. That's just what it is. But for warriors that can fit dialysis into your schedule far as going home, doing home dialysis. That's how you fit it into your schedule. Now, what you want to do for a lot of warriors, find a treatment time that works with your schedule. However, a lot of warriors are not going to be able to do that, especially over in Nairobi, Kenya, or a lot of those countries where you got to go by their schedule. There's no other way around it. However, if that's the case, I would see if you can get a schedule that fits into your schedule. And then if you can't, you have to roll with the punches and then try to adjust your life to make it work for you. Now, if you have work or other duties, your dialysis team, pray to God, can find a time and location that works for you. But that's not always the case. Let me tell you, Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the United States are prime shifts. In the morning, early morning at 5 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, those chairs are hard to find because you got people to work, people want to get the dialysis over with and get out of there, go to work. They got the rest of the day and they ain't got to go on the weekend. Okay? Now, if that's not the case, right? If you're here in the United States and you know someone or you're about to start treatment and you work and you want to continue to work, and if they can't fit you in on an early shift, I would go home dialysis. Home dialysis, bar none. You can do home hemo. You can do peritoneal. And if you don't have a caregiver, they got companies out there that will supply a caregiver for you. But that is a viable option for you. Don't quit your job because you can't find a dialysis schedule that fits your routine. Go home. Don't give them the satisfaction of controlling your work life and the life you had before dialysis. You can get on dialysis and resume that life you had by being mindful of your treatments. Just think what I said in the beginning. The kidneys work 24 hours, 7 days a week. All right? You feel good for a healthy person. Now, think about it. Think about this in logic terms. Okay? Seriously. I can't say how you feel because I never walked in a dialysis patient's shoes. However, I can assure you, as the breath I speak, that there's many warriors that are thriving beyond measures, doing home dialysis, doing 4, 5 to 6 hours during the night, you know, especially if you got insomnia and you can't sleep at night, do your treatment then, and then you got the rest of the day. They achieving so much quality of life, high KT over V over 2, and you got people saying to them they don't even look like they on dialysis, and a lot of their medicines are taken away. I seen it myself when I was a charge nurse down in Houston, Texas, at a Fresenius in the museum district. They do nocturnal dialysis where patients do 6 to 8 hours of treatment. We came in at 6 p.m. We set up, the tech set up. I did what I had to do, my medication checks. I checked the water and do what I do. And then we started at 7 p.m. Okay? Now, if you were 7 hours, whatever the doctor ordered, 6.5, 7, 8, let's just say you were 8 hours. So that's at 7 o'clock Monday p.m., that'd be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock, you would come off dialysis. 3 o'clock, you go home, right? It's Tuesday morning. You got Tuesday all day. Then you got Wednesday all day up until 7 o'clock Wednesday evening, and you do it again. And a lot of these patients that were on that type of treatment, the doctors took them off nearly all their medicines. I kid you not. All their medicines, including the phosphorus, the high blood pressure, and everything else they were taking. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the chairs were set up. They were comfortable, big boy chairs that can go back, real comfortable, spacious. They had heated chairs. They had privacy curtains, so you don't have to look at the next person on both sides. You had your TV. You had your night light up there. It was awesome. And I encourage anyone, if you have that opportunity to go to a clinic that performs nocturnal dialysis, do it. That could be the best thing you could have done for your treatment. I'm telling you, I am not kidding. And what we use baby monitor, wet monitors. We tape them to the access, so when you go to sleep, if you start to bleed, the liquid will hit that sensor and we'll hear it, and then we can respond. But the whole point is, the longer the treatment, the better you're going to feel. Because that's how the toxins come out. Imagine. Now check this out. If you're doing 8 hours, 3 days a week, that's 24 hours of treatment compared to 9 hours of treatment. Who's going to feel better? Do the logic. I mean, scientific tells you 24 hours of dialysis treatment where the patient, all the medicines are removed, right? Maybe not for all, but they were greatly reduced, right? If you see that, and then you doing 3 hours a week, you see somebody else doing 24 hours a week nocturnal, and you're going to treatment doing 3 hours, you're feeling horrible, and you looking at the same guy like thriving, doing this, playing golf, doing all this stuff, and you saying, how did you get the energy to do that? When I get off dialysis, I'm wiped out, and I go home, and I don't get up until the next day and do it all over again. But here you are, you're going golfing, you're out with the wifey, you're doing this, that, you're all over the place. You're volunteering at the church. How is that possible? I just told you, long-term treatment, home treatment. You can regulate it if you go home. You can regulate it. You can do it when you want. You're not at the hands of the unit where they say, oh, we got a chair. Come on in. You rush, you get out the house, grab stuff. You was about to do something. They call you. You get your stuff, find a ride. You get down there. You knock on the door. Looking, you ready to get in, get the treatment. Oh, have a seat. We be with you. 45 minutes later, you looking at your watch. Damn. I could have did what I was going to do and just came to my regular treatment. Who wants to go through that? So look, I'm telling you, if you can do long treatments, I know if you're in the clinic and you don't have anyone at home and that you have to stay in the clinic, that's understandable. However, ask your doctor if you're not getting good clearance with the treatment that you're getting, ask for 4 hours, especially if you don't have urine output. Now, if you have urine output, if you still urinate, then it would be different because your kidneys are assisting with the elimination of the toxins as well as the artificial kidney, which is this right here, is helping you as well. And then let me just show you what your blood goes through. It goes through these fibers right here. That's inside a artificial kidney. For those who have not seen this. So, look, again, I'm not going to beat it like a dead horse. The longer the treatment, the better. And you can do this at home if you have a caregiver. You don't need a technician. That's the word, right? Caregiver. There's a difference. There's a difference. A caregiver doesn't go through a hemodialysis training course like the dialysis technician and get the CCHT certification. A caregiver could be your neighbor. It could be JJ Voorhees. It could be your cousin. It can be your brother, sister. Or you can hire a service. Or how about this? How about this? It can be another warrior that just came to me who maybe had a transplant that want to give back. And I'm giving you guys some ideas, those guys who have a transplant. If you want to give back, why don't you come up with an advocacy service like a caregiver where you find patients who want to do home dialysis but can't, and you assist them. However, I know that's a big responsibility to ask. But it's a noble cause. So, again, you got nighttime PD, you got CCPD, you got manual exchange, you got nocturnal, where you can do 8 hours, 6 or 8 hours overnight at the clinic, or you can do home dialysis. And when you do home dialysis, if you do dialysis during the day or have a schedule where if you did have a kidney warrior that wanted to help. Or how about this? I never even thought about this. What if you had two warriors that lived near each other, went to the same unit, and they both wanted to do home dialysis? They could be home buddies. So while one does his treatment, the other person could be the caregiver, right? And then whenever that other person does their treatment, the other person, warrior, could do their treatment. There's many ways to get around this. As they say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So those tips that I just came up with, I just came up with them. Wasn't something I had written down. It was just something the Spirit said to say. So if you know kidney warriors out there, they live near each other, they go to the same unit, they want to do home dialysis, don't have their own partner, y'all could be partners. I mean, it's a thought. I don't see why not. So, now, when you're fitting dialysis into your schedule, create a schedule to keep dialysis from interfering with your daily activities. That's the goal. create a schedule to keep this treatment from interfering with your daily activities so you can maintain a normal life. Absolutely. Sticking to a schedule can keep your day organized and help you plan for the future. This way, you won't have to decide between dialysis and the activities you love. How many warriors had to do that? How many warriors had to make a decision on attending a wedding, attending an occasion you normally do each year? Now kidney disease done reared its ugly head into your life. Now it's like, okay, I'm on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and I normally do a lot of my activities, go out of town, do this or that on Saturdays. Now I can't do it. What do you do then? What about holidays? If you celebrated 4th of July, Labor Day, you like to go to the park, eat crabs, or go to the beach. What do you do now that kidney disease is in your life and you're going to the clinic? What do you do now? Again, home dialysis is the option. And if you don't have it, find someone or another warrior that wants to do that as well. And y'all become home dialysis buddies. Now, if you're in the clinic, what you need to do, plan ahead and stay on top of it. And what I mean by plan ahead, if you want to go out of town and do some of the things you used to do before going to, before dialysis came into your life, go to the social worker. Say if you're going to Nantucket or something like that. You find a clinic. Don't just leave it up to the social worker, okay? But you find a clinic, see what the requirements are to be a transient patient, see what you need, what paperwork, write it down, right? And then go back to the unit, let your social worker know, see how far she's gone, and then show this to the charge nurse and let them know what your plans are. That is very important because a lot of those plans, when you give it to the social worker or nurses and you expect them to take care of it, a lot of that stuff falls through the cracks. And I can tell you from experience being a charge nurse, because you may need to submit a hepatitis result. You may need an HIV result. And say if you don't have that in your chart and you need that done, if somebody don't put it in place for you to get it done, say you need a chest x-ray, you need this, that, all the other, you need the paperwork lined up, faxed to the other unit. Say somebody doesn't do their part, it could be a no-go. That's why, again, home dialysis is really stressed here. So make dialysis your time. Dedicate the hours you spend in the dialysis center to yourself. Call your friends and family, catch up on current events, watch your favorite show, or learn a new language. What will you do with your time? And let me tell you something. And I'm not saying don't become friends with other kidney patients, because that is a reason why a lot of warriors don't do home dialysis, because they want to interact with other people going through this, such as themselves. However, you always got to have boundaries. And that's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration. Even myself, when I worked as a charge nurse and the staff, we have to set boundaries. And that's something that's not done between staff and the patients. There's nothing wrong getting to know one. But what happens in a lot of units where the line is crossed is you have some patients that give staff money. You have some staff that ask patients, can they borrow money? You have staff that sees patients outside the facility, go to their home. Now, have I ever done that? Of course. Patients invited me to their home for the holidays. I went just as other patients and staff went. However, never taking money from patients, okay? Never borrowed or anything like that. Because then when you do that, then somewhere there's going to be an expectation of you. Maybe the patient needs a favor. Maybe they need to get on early before the next patient. We have to treat everybody equally. If someone comes in and whatever the process is of that unit, if someone's 4 hours and you're 3 hours and you get there late or whatever, and you want to get on before the other person is not your chair time, I can't do that. But it's done. Especially if you got an older person in their 70s or 80s that don't say nothing. And there's a lot of patients out there that don't speak up for themselves. And they need an advocate. So there's many niches in this field for people who are former dialysis patients who had a transplant, even dialysis patients or family members. There's many niches to be made in this field far as advocacy, awareness, ambassadors, prevention ambassadors, education ambassadors, caregiver ambassadors, transplant donor awareness ambassadors. There's a lot that needs to be done here. I'm only one person. Urban Health Outreach Media is only one organization. Just like National Kidney Foundation, not one organization can do it alone. However, you have to look at You have to look at the intentions of that organization. Okay? So with that being said, I want to close it with life happens. And dialysis can sometimes get in the way, right? If you're supposed to go to treatment and all of a sudden your transportation didn't show up, you had death in the family, you got diarrhea, you got some other issue going on that prevents you from getting the treatment, that's understandable. However, the goal is pick up the phone, call the unit, let them know, and reschedule a time and make that time. Don't show up. Because look, if you don't show up, if you get into that pattern where you don't want to come to treatment and you just don't call or don't show up, Lord forbid if you're on the transplant list and you do that, they're going to use that against you. And it's a possibility they can use that against you to discharge you from the unit. Especially if you're in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m., 5 a.m., you're constantly late, coming in at 7, an hour and a half past your chair time. They're going to cut your treatment. Then your numbers are going to start affecting the unit numbers. See, a lot of patients don't know your labs, your KT over V, your potassium, your phosphorus, what else is it? Your iron, and how many infections that unit get. That all plays a part on that unit and how they get reimbursed. That's why, listen, if you're a patient watching this, have you ever wondered, or has it ever been done where you go all through the month, right? You don't see the dietitian, right? And then all of a sudden, a day before the labs are supposed to be drawn, they're at your chair, or you see all these papers taped up in the patient's bathroom and in the lobby and after treatment, and the dietitian is coming up to you saying, don't forget your binders. Don't forget this. Don't forget that. Have that ever happened to you on the day before labs were drawn? And you wonder why you come to me the day before labs instead of coming to me throughout the month telling me this? You ever seen that rush right before lab time? I have. And see, I've seen it. That's why I'm able to say it, because I worked at DaVita units that use that practice. And I said it, DaVita, because they do that. You may have some people in there say, oh, they don't do it at our unit. But where I worked at, the day before lab, every patient will be seen by that dietitian, reminding them to take your binder, so when you come to treatment that day and they draw the blood, your labs can look good. Only for that day. And why? Because if they see a pattern of all patients doing good, that gives the intention that their unit is flourishing. They get more money because they got better quality indicators. That's why. Now, you got to look at a company that practice this a day before the labs, but don't practice this throughout the month. Some do, some don't. But just the thought of doing that is appalling to me, because you're pushing it the day before the lab so the labs can look good. What about the rest of the week? So, as I said, life happens and dialysis can sometimes get in the way. It's understand that it can sometimes be difficult to plan your schedule around treatments. If you need to miss because of transportation issues, a scheduling conflict, or any other reasons, call those guys. I can't stress that enough. Especially when you got 1,000 patients each year being involuntarily discharged from their dialysis unit. Thus, having to go to the nearest emergency room because they've been banned or blackballed from going to other units outside of the unit that they got involuntary discharge from. Now, why is that important? Because literally, you can almost call it murder. I can't tell you how many warriors throughout the years who were victim of this practice unnecessarily lost their battle to kidney disease. So when you have a company that involuntary discharge warriors for simple things, now, are some of these discharges warranted? Absolutely, especially when it comes down to threatening someone with bodily violence. However, when you have a warrior that has a legitimate complaint, and they went through the whole process, and now they're being deemed and labeled as difficult, then it's a problem. So we have to look at the grand scheme of things. And when you're dealing with these large corporations, you really have to think hell smart. You can't leave it up to a company that hires people, some with no medical experience, and then train them. You just can't leave it to chance. So that's why we're here at Urban Health Outreach Media, Steve the Kidney Nurse, Urban Kidney Alliance, the Warriors Quest Show, and all the other shows that are on this network. That's why we're here to do what we do, because we see the lack of education, especially with kidney disease, and the lack of awareness, and the lack of education mainstream. So that's why it's important to share these broadcasts so other warriors who may not have an opportunity to see this at this moment or have constant access to the internet will one day see these broadcasts and it can add value. Value. That's what we want to do. Add value in your life so you can have the best quality of life in spite of dealing with kidney disease. So let me look at these comments. I mean, I got a lot. Thank you guys for watching. You know, this is serious, man. And I've been, for those, a lot of you who know me and been with me since 2014 when I started this mission, that's all I've been tooting my horn about is the seriousness of this disease. And the thing about it can be prevented, some of it. You know, we can't help with the genetic part of it, but when you can slow the process down and give people an opportunity, another way, and you hide that, there's no way someone should go in the hospital and they know they got kidney disease and they're about to start treatment, there's no way that they should not know about the different treatment modalities that's out there. Because the more you know, now you can make an informed decision based on the information you have laid right before you. But how can you make that decision after the fact? You quit your job because the unit didn't have a chair available. So you had to do an early retirement, something that you didn't want to do. But if you knew about home dialysis, you could have averted that. And you found that out a year after the deed has been done. It's like, damn, if I would have knew that in the hospital, if the caseworker, the case manager at the hospital would have told me about the different treatment options I had, instead of trying to cattle me off to the nearest DeVita for Fresenius, because what they do, this is what they do. You're in the hospital bed. You could be watching TV. Maybe you finish your dialysis treatment. Maybe not. It could be somewhere around 12 o'clock. They've done rounds. Doctors say you can get discharged, right? You happy. Next thing you know, nurse come to your room. Hey, Mr. Belcher, the doctor said we're going to be discharging you Monday. It could be a Thursday. No, it could be a Wednesday. We're going to discharge you on Monday. Oh, no, on Friday. You're going to have your dialysis Friday and you start your treatment Monday outpatient. Where you live? And they get the information. I live so-and-so. Okay, the doctor, I want to call the units in that area. This is where your doctor goes to, where he sees patients. Huh? Okay. What about home dialysis? But see, you don't know about home dialysis. You just trying to get treatment and get out the hospital, right? But you don't know everything else that comes after that. So that's why we do these shows, to let you know before you go. Okay? So with that being said, let me look at some of these comments and get out of here. Margaret, how you doing, Margaret? Thank you for chiming in. Yep, you're right about that. We got NG Ghost 34 as a black male on dialysis for 5 years and 6 months. I'm finally getting calls for deceased donor. You are 200% right. I'm proud of myself for never missing a treatment. Oh, man, awesome, man, that you're getting those calls. And also, if you can, continue to try for a living donor. And if you're still watching this, New Jersey Ghost, if you're on Facebook, reach out to Jared Brown, host of the Warriors Quest, and we can have you on to share your story. Hey, Margaret, how you doing? Thank you for watching. Thanks for commenting. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm going to be doing this for the long run. Thank you, Margaret, for commenting. I really appreciate it. JJ, thank you for commenting as well. Yep, you're right about the fraud and the abuse. It's running rampant. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just want warriors to know that it doesn't have to be doom and gloom or any of that. And JJ, home hemo is done. They got a small machine. We did a show on Outset. They make the Tableau, and then you got the next stage machine. And it's just the same process. They got a filter, and then they got cartridges to snap in that I don't have the, oh, here we go. They got the cartridges that got these lines already on the cartridges, right? And then the cartridges just snaps in, and then you hook it up. Oh, I'm sorry. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. But what I was saying, when you do home dialysis, this show was not about home dialysis. It was about making your treatment count. And when you do this, attending all your treatments, and you got longer period of time, yes, you're definitely having a greater outcome when you're doing treatment. Say you're doing a slower process, opposed to you go to dialysis 3 times a week and you're taking off 4 liters and you're running 450 blood flow rate. When you're doing it at home, you can do, say, 2.5 hours or 3 hours, and you're taking off 2.5 liters, and you're just not having a heavier run that you would in the clinic. So home dialysis, if you can do in-center longer or even home, the whole purpose is the longer the treatment, the better you're going to be on quality-wise, overall well-being. Because again, if you're doing 24 hours a week of treatment, right, opposed to 9 hours a week, you see that large gap, that large deficit of what, 15 hours? That's total 15-hour difference. 24, 9 hours. Big difference. So guys, thank you for watching. I've been on here longer than I intended to be. Again, if you can, share all the broadcasts that you can, whether it's from us, Hope with Jonathan, Transplant Talk with Nashonda, Warriors Quest, Lisa Baxter Show, whatever other kidney shows or podcasts that are out there kidney related, share it, because everyone has a niche in this. We need all people on board. We need, again, transplant donor awareness ambassadors, education ambassadors, prevention ambassadors, home dialysis buddies ambassadors. I mean, we can do this together collectively as a kidney community. We can think outside the box and go past the status quo of the old days of how kidney education was being done. This is the 21st century, and we have technology at our disposal to make it happen. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. God bless you. Wherever you're watching around the world, just know we are here for you, and that kidney warriors matter. God bless you. Good night. Wherever you're at, stay blessed and encouraged, and we'll see you soon. Peace.